Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say, where's Dashi? Dashi again is in New York right now, as I am in a other different location. Today we're going to just be going over OMI a little bit. Shout out to my friend Mike for the awesome jacket. We just had Whale Week. Our part one of Whale Week had just happened the last couple of days. Part two will start tomorrow. So unfortunately, if I'm in your town or in whatever, I might only be in your town for like a day or so. What do whales talk about? What do they do? Well, a couple of things that we talked about outside of OMI was some of the other things that I really like that could potentially do greater returns than OMI, but I just don't really think are as safe. And then some things that I think are as safe, if not safer than OMI, but just probably won't have those gains. And we'll start off with Bumper. Bumper is one of those things that I could potentially see as having a bigger return than OMI, but it's just not really well known. Could the SEC go after him? I don't know. That is something that I would still say has a 90 to 95% chance of hitting and running and going well. My opinion is that OMI is likely going to be that. In my opinion, is 99% chance. Obviously, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor to any of you guys, just a couple other people. What I see OMI is doing that 100-ish, 200, 300x. But again, something like Bumper, which could potentially do a 500x. Same thing with Definity. Definity, which I really love. I just interviewed Manu Chowdhury the other day, like a couple weeks ago. Same thing, that could do a 500. Both of those, Bumper and Definity, could do a 1000x. It's just, again, not as well known. Don't know if those narratives are going to hit the same way that digital collectibles narratives will. Digital collectibles narratives are obviously going to be absolutely incredible. When does that hit? We don't exactly know. We have this idea that it might hit towards the end of the bull market because that's what happened last time. But even though history does not repeat, it does often rhyme. So maybe if it doesn't hit at the end, maybe it heads towards the middle. Again, it could hit tomorrow. We have no idea. You could suddenly have everyone and their sister talking about Veve and OMI, or just digital collectibles in general. And obviously at the top of that list is going to be Veve and OMI. I mentioned Raul the other day. Give me 1 second here. Raul Powell the other day mentioned that he's stocking up on all of these blue chip NFTs. And the blue chip NFTs, regardless of what anyone thinks that they are, I saw a lot of the Veve and OMI crowd be like, oh, here's what we have on Veve. Blue chip, talking about first appearance, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all of the big ones, and saying like, hey, here's the first appearances on these, and they're absolutely incredible. Hopefully some of us get to them. We'll see. But like I said, OMI to NFT, what are the whales talking about? Well, I'll get to Flow first. Flow obviously being already like a $2-ish billion market cap. I don't think Flow is going to do a 100x. Just my opinion. I don't think it gets to 200 billion. It could, but I think that Flow does a nice 20, 30x. I see that being 60, maybe even $100 billion market cap. Very possible, and that's great. OMI, on the other hand, though, what's it going to take for OMI to see what you can do, Chavez? Chavez, you mentioned 8 to 10 cents. Okay, that's 100x right there. But didn't you just say it could go 2 or 300x? Where's this coming from? After talking with Crypto Rain a lot this week, One the Clock's back a couple months ago, and he would say that it's a 50-50 shot that OMI could reach $100 billion market cap, which is about a 30-cent OMI. That's a lot, and I don't know if I put the odds at 50-50. I'd give it much lower than that. But again, that was a few months ago during like peak FUD. And then he mentioned on stream, and he mentioned to the whales privately, that OMI going to $100 billion market cap, or a 30-cent OMI, is about a 70% chance of happening. And he says that it's not where it should be valued at. OMI should probably not be valued at 100 billion, even after they hit everything. But they will. And again, I've been saying this for a long time. That's why my thoughts on OMI going to 8 to 10 cents is about where it should go, and about where and anything above that maybe not. Maybe 3 to 5 cents is where it should go. And I know it is going to overcorrect, so that's why 8 to 10 cents I do say is not only doable but fairly conservative. I think the odds of going to 15 to 20 cents are pretty good. I'd say 1 in 5. Give it a 20% chance. And the odds of going beyond that, up to 30 cents and above, I used to give it like a 1% chance, like a golden goose egg. Now the golden goose egg I think is like 50 cents, and I think 30 cents is probably good 5 to 10% chance, if not higher. Again, Crypto Rain, someone that's older, smarter, and more experienced in this crypto space, says that. What does it have to do for me to get that? I just happen to go and be on around the Okomiverse. They were the ones that were talking about price predictions for end of Q2. I said, okay, what does that look like? What is us getting to, was it price prediction? Okay, about half a penny, so 0.005. How do we go and do that? Well, we do know that we have OMI to NFT coming. When is that going to happen? And I'll get to Foster's, actually, let me get to Foster's stuff right now. We had Okomi going and saying, hey, season 2 of OMI Rewards starts in 7 days. Deposit all your OMI in your web wallet. I'm sorry, deposit and hold your OMI in your web wallet prior to April 1st to maximize your rewards. Details down below. So again, that starts in, if I can quote Samara from The Ring here, 7 days. And the details that were shared were from 6 days ago, where Okomi had gone on and posted that article for staking rewards in season 2. Then you had Maximus Mendicium saying, okay, OMI, when are we going to get OMI to NFT? It's been teased and indicated, but many of the Veve fam remain skeptical, including myself. Misspelled skeptical. It's adorable. Transform the sentiment and put OMI on the map. So Foster says, listen, a healthy amount of skepticism in any situation is always good. However, OMI to NFT is absolutely coming. It is not a feature that you just rush and hope that it works out. The moment that it's ready, the community will hear about it because I'll be shouting about it nonstop. You have a bunch of other stuff that had happened today, but then you have a, not gonna out this guy. We'll call them Jay, saying, explanation of why it's taking so long to implement a simple feature, ? So Foster Hill kind of having fun here saying, oh, nobody told us it was going to be just a simple feature. Well, that would have solved everything. I wish you would have said something sooner. Why do we think of that? And Jay says, listen, all the features needed are already built besides transferring OMI from the buyer's wallet in the app to the seller's wallet in the app. It's not rocket science. The UI work is minimal and 2 weeks of work max. Well, Mr. J, I don't know why Comey doesn't just hire you. Maybe because it's a bit more complicated than that. Foster goes and responds and says, it seems like you have an awful lot of assumptions about what OMI to NFT is or how it's being built out. I will leave this excerpt from the roadmap update in January. There might be some keywords in here that you want to read over. And it goes as follows. We are progressing plans around OMI to NFT. This is a high priority focus for us, and we are currently working through the details of a confidential partnership. What is that? I do not know, but it is confidential. More details will be revealed at a later date. So it seems like what some people are arguing that should only take a couple of weeks. Again, whenever you have any type of third-party partnership, it's going to take a lot. Your system has to go in with their system. It has to go in with Veve. So there's a lot of wires that have to be crossed. It's like, okay, you have a Nintendo 64 and you have a TV, but do you have the wire that powers the N64, and then do you have the yellow, the white, and the red plugs to go into your audio, your video, and all that on the TV? And do you have a TV that's compatible with that? It's just, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different wires that goes on for there. But anyway, this all goes to say is that OMI to NFT is likely going to come in Q2. And that is one of the things that I believe has to roll out in order for us to get to a 0.005 or half a penny. What are some of the other things? And what are the timelines on this? I don't know the timeline on this. Could be April 1st. It could be June 30th. I don't know. Or anywhere in between. My guess is, just got to go on Veve time, got to give them a little leeway here. My guess is going to be June at some point. Could be 1st, could be the 30th. But then we're likely going to get an article about OMI to NFT beforehand, saying, resting all the people still, we will get, if not OMI to NFT, we will also get NFT to OMI, meaning you'll be able to sell your OMI or sell your NFTs for OMI. So that's going to be really fun. I feel like there's a couple people that don't That I just haven't gotten the memo on that, so I'm just trying to throw that out there. If we get it in June, we're likely going to be teased about it in May and get that article in May as well. So the article in May, again, if we get it in June, I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, what else are they doing that they can't do this in April or May? And again, this is just speculation here, but you have Veveverse. We were supposed to get a lot of stuff from Veveverse last year. And even though it seems like it's likely ready, they wanted to beta test first and beta test and beta test to no avail. And they've done that. As we had the last round of beta test users in, I'm really hoping that Veveverse comes out in Q2. I will be pretty disappointed if we don't, because if we don't get Veveverse Phase 1 out in Q2, I don't think IP branded worlds will come this year, and that's supposed to be Phase 2. So go from having all of last year supposed to be having, all of Veveverse Phase 1 through Phase 4. If we only get Phase 1 this year and the other things are delayed, that's just not something I'm going to be very happy about. But again, we'll see. We'll have to let them perform. They're doing a lot of stuff over there. One of the other things we have, so if that comes out, OMI to bronze tickets. Now, I really like that we are able to use our MCP points right now for super scarce drops. And that they roll that out before OMI to bronze tickets. OMI to bronze tickets, there's really no reason for us to use them while we still have a bunch of MCP points. Because if you get those bronze tickets and you redeem for MCP points, again, we all have MCP points, so there's no reason for us to go and do that. There's a little bit reason for us to do that now because almost none of us are master collectors anymore, including me. I'm not still. I'll get there again. But there's probably going to be some drops where you need to be master collector to go for it. How do you do that? Well, you have to use a bunch of OMI to buy those bronze tickets, and you're going to get a bunch of MCP points. So that's likely what's going to happen. So we would need that rolled out as well, OMI to bronze tickets. Now the cash out is still at 10%. So if you have 1,000 gems in there, you'll get 900-ish, maybe like 880, 890, depending on bank fees. But if you have OMI to NFT, or if you have a certain amount of gems you just want to cash out, or anything that you want, you're going to ask for OMI. Why? Because there's no cash out fee for OMI. You have it there, and then you transfer. You're going to have to bridge it, and there's a little bit of gas, but it's not a 10% fee depending on how much you have. If you have $10,000 in there, that's $1,000. Gas fees are not going to be $1,000. So, if you sell like a Miles Morales, and you have 10K. You're going to want to sell that for OMI because you're not going to have that cash out fee for the extra $1,000, which is nuts. You're going to want to use OMI. So in that, I actually see towards the end of the year, most things on this app being used, bought and sold for with OMI. I don't see any scenario in which the majority are still using gems and using that cash out process. I see most of these people on Veve buying and selling their NFTs with OMI. And gems will likely be fairly scarce and only really used for stuff on the store. But again, that's just my opinion there. Then you also have, okay, well, if we have OMI to NFT and we're buying and selling here, we still need more exchanges. And yes, you're right, you need more accessibility to the token. I think it is right. I think we have every right to expect at least one exchange per quarter. So I would like another exchange in Q2. I would also like OMI to OMI availability over on the web app, but I don't think we get that until we get OMI to NFT. And if we don't get OMI to NFT until June, I'm not going to expect OMI on the web app until Q3. So I'm just throwing that out there. Again, we could get OMI to NFT in April, and then by June we get OMI on the web app, but I don't think that's something that is likely going to happen until Q3. But if we do all of these things, like I said, that's where I believe we get to half a penny by the end of June. And that's before the narrative hits. If that narrative hits, it doesn't matter what we have available and what we don't have available and what they have and haven't rolled out. That narrative is going to be insane. And we'll be half a penny. We'll probably be all-time high just because of that narrative. Just that narrative alone. And okay, well, Chavez, what was the reactions to this? How did the whales react when you told them these potential dates and these potential all things going on? Well, to them, the longer OMI stays down here and the longer we wait for these to roll out, the better, because that means they have more time to accumulate. People that I've been spending time with, the person whose house I'm in right now, they are patient. And that's something that I got to mention a little bit about before over on the around the Okomiverse, and I'll try to find it right now for y'all. But it was unfortunately a guy named Jason Brar, or BRAR, saying literally everything pumping again. OMI is hardly moving. No OMI to NFT. Enough is enough. I'm going to dump my 40 million OMI. Now, I don't know if this person's just frustrated or they don't have any OMI and they're just trying to be a big shot. Lori was very skeptical about this, which I thought was great. It does seem like this is not the first person that has said something like this, and I go and I offer to buy their OMI, and then they try to weasel their way out because they don't have the OMI that they're talking about. I don't know if that's the case here, but I asked them, do you want to do an OTC deal? I mean, my guys will buy from you, and that was like 8 hours ago, and nothing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The money in this world, yes, there's a reason that, money goes to money. There's a reason for that saying. Because oftentimes it does, but that is not fully accurate. You know how in high school, teachers would be like, hey guys, choose the best answer possible. Not that this answer could be right if perceived a certain way, but this answer is better. This is the best answer. When somebody goes and says money goes to money, yeah, sometimes it does, but that is not the best representation of how money flows from one spot to another. In weather, science, heat goes from where it's hot to where it's not. It's just simple. Sometimes that's above to below, sometimes that's from below to above. Heat goes from where it's hot to where it's not. Money does not just go to money. It doesn't go from the poor to the rich. It goes from the inpatient to the patient, meaning that if you have patience enough, if you know what the heck you're doing, and you know that you're investing in a really good company, if you know that they're like the only company in Web3 that's profitable, I think that for like 2 months they weren't profitable, and when it happened for those 2 months, like everyone was just like, oh my God, they're not profitable, going down, as if the 300 million that was made the few years prior was just erased. People are idiots. That is the better representation of it. Again, who do you want to listen to? Do you want to listen to a bunch of unsuccessful fudders that aren't really anywhere in life? Or do you want to listen to people that have multi-million-dollar houses and people that have been in this game a while and know what they're doing? I mean, the choice is yours. I'm just a talking head on YouTube. This is not financial advice to any of y'all. Anyway, moving on. Something that I mentioned on the stream before, but I didn't really go into that much. Veve just posted on Instagram Russell Dodderman artwork from Avengers Forever #2 from 2021. It has never been verbalized before around the Okomiverse, and I really want to go over it here. I think there's a reason that David has the one-of-one artworks only available on the Veve web app, not the app, like the website. And when I was talking before about Raoul Paul, talking about high-end art and how he's stacking that, well, what better place to get high-end art than Veve, where you show, again, Veve on the web app or on the phone app, it doesn't really show you what people paid for it. It shows you the floors of things, but it won't show you really what people pay for certain things. Over on the website, it shows you, and every single week, thousands of dollars. These one-of-ones are going for thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. I believe the reason for that is so David can go and say, hey, we have high-end art as well. We have everything that's done in bulk. We do a lot of money there. But we have high-end art for everyone as well, and it goes for thousands of dollars every single week. That is like Amazon going and making, or Apple TV going and making shows that nobody watches just so they can get awards. And they're stacking those awards. David is going and he is taking a bunch of these covers that, he can make them parts of comics, or he can make them part of the website app, and that's fine. And he could sell, and he could make he could make more money if he had mass produced those and put them on the app. But he's not. He's taking what could be tens of thousands of dollars, off of many different rarities and whatever, and instead he's going and saying, I'm just going to do one of these, and they're going to sell for thousands every single time. I don't exactly know what the plan is there, but that I'll next time I have him on, I will ask him. Now, when you have these one-of-ones that's really only able to be bought with gems, what happens when you go and you have that OMI to NFT? Or what happens when you would be able to accept something like OMI for that? I think those go from thousands to tens of thousands really quickly. Just add a zero on that. Again, just my opinion. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all. Class dismissed. Bye.